Welcome back to Debaters Season 2, a debate game show for high school students here in Vietnam, produced and broadcasted by VTV, the national educational channel of Vietnam, and British University, Vietnam. I'm your host, Dustin Chevier. So currently, right now in Debaters, this is the 6th episode. We have already had 5 winners. The debates have been intense, and the judges, some of them extremely harsh with the students, some giving positive feedback. The contestants have learned so much, and frankly, this episode right now is the 6th one. And that puts a little bit of pressure on them. Hopefully it's not too much pressure, because we want them to feel confident and excited when they're debating each other. But yes, you guys will be moving on tonight, whoever the winner is, so keep that in mind. However, tonight's motion might be a little bit difficult for them. I'm not really sure, but we're just going to get started right now. So the motion for today, that we should allocate good teachers to low ability, poor performance classes. It's a mouthful, but I'm excited to introduce the teams for tonight.
Hello,
we are Yes.
Personally, I think this motion is quite challenging and it is very educational. We have to talk about teachers, about students, and how to make the best out of our whole educational system.
YUS has shown dedication and passion in terms of understanding the motion and the debate structure as a whole. Even though they're beginners in debating, I believe that they could still improve as a team, and they just have to research on the debating styles and the tactics in debating and how to logically arrange thoughts on paper and when they deliver their speeches.
Hi, it's Vanilla.
So at first, when we received the motion, we were actually pretty nervous because we have never had the chance to intercount this kind of motion before. But in my opinion, we have tried our best to create arguments, and thanks to our mentors, we have done a pretty good job.
And we think that we have to do a lot of practice in order to understand the other side of the debate, and trying to make them understand how should they prove on their side of the house. They may lack some kind of experience on debating, but they have the performance skill, and they have very good English skill now, and they also have a lot of good ideas. So therefore, we think that we can help them with the explanations, and therefore they can do really good jobs in the debates.
I'm going to start over here, because I know you guys are from India. How do you feel?
Yeah, I feel really excited because this is my first time here in the northern part of Vietnam.
Really?
Yeah, my first time, really.
First time?
Yeah, first time as well.
First time? Oh, I like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was talking to both teams before this episode, and I am actually very eager to see how the debate is going to go, because you all are very fluent in English, and that's, it adds a lot of value to the debate, so I'm really excited. But I have to ask another thing, but I'm going to walk over to the people from Hanoi. So, người Hanoi. But you guys, why Team Vanilla?
Actually, it was a random name. No meaning behind it.
No meaning?
Yes.
Okay. Are you guys a chocolate or a vanilla type of people?
I'm actually kind of a chocolate person.
Yeah.
Chocolate
person.
Vanilla.
Okay, so you have one vanilla person, 2 chocolate people, and you came up with the name Vanilla. All right, I like that conclusion. So guys, thank you so much. So this is the 6th episode, and of course we have to introduce the lovely judges. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the contestants for the first round of the debate. So to my right, the proposition team, Team Yus. Please welcome TIionG. To my left, the opposition team, Team Vanilla. Please welcome Lê Dom Quân. Okay. So, how you doing?
I'm feeling pressured.
Why?
Because this motion is very close to us students and all the teachers and all the coaches, so I'm feeling very pressured right now because, yeah. because of that.
Don't be too nervous. It's going to be okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. You doing okay?
Yeah, I think I'm okay, but yeah, I'm very nervous right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be okay. The first round, it is important, but it's kind of just the foundation to the rest of the debate. So that's important, but the points, it's 30 points here, but it can definitely change throughout the debate.
Yeah.
Okay, so with the first debate, you have 3 minutes to deliver a speech. POI is not open, so please don't ask any questions. Proposition team, you will be going first. Opposition team, you will be going second. Do you guys understand the rules?
Yeah.
All right, let's begin the debate.
The research of Alliance for Excellent Education states that No Child Left Behind Act is the best advocacy of all academic institutions because it ensures that the teacher of the core subjects are highly qualified and the poor and minority students are not taught at the lower rates than other children by inexperienced or underperforming teachers. And this debate is a policy debate, and we're now to prove that the low-ranking students can still get better by the allocation of good teachers. So, who are these good teachers? They have innovative teaching style, which can effectively help the student, and they can communicate the learning competencies in the language which is easiest for the student to understand that. In the real world, the brand that low ability classes is a byproduct of exam results and performance. And in some schools, the students' sections are categorized based on their individual grades and also exam results. But the problem here is that schools often allocate good teachers to the high-performing classes. So the thing that educational system have to do now is that allocating good teachers to the low ability classes one. So who will allocate the teachers? It is the program coordinator of the school and the administration who have the files and data of the student as well as teacher performance of the previous year. They will are the legitimate actor who will run this policy, and about how allocation is based on first the teacher merits, their achievement in the education like their master degree or higher education, and another one is that the teacher's competency, they are evaluated by the student in, like their flexibility, their ability to understand the student background. And next, in our model, we do not foster that all the teachers are bad or all the teachers are not worthy, but the teachers are also classified for them to work harder. But what about the high ability student? They can still cope with their studying because they have self-learning skill. They take studying independently and they are able to focus entirely on their studying. So the teacher who don't have enough merits to be classified as good could still facilitate them in their studying. Coming to one strong argument of our team, why allocation justifiable to begin with? The core value of the academy is to produce globally competitive individual. It means that the curriculum changes from time to time to meet the student demand. And when the status quo at school is problematic, we should support a policy that maximizes the ability of good teachers to fulfill the learning needs of the student in low ability class. And then the teacher will help students to overcome difficulties to give the best motivation and instruction to match the student learning style. Thank you.
Before our case, one rebuttal. You said that the curriculum will change to their expectations, the average student's expectation. But when you just switch the good teachers to the lower students, it cannot be performed. Why? Because one, the good teachers have high academic knowledge, and they cannot fit the average student because of the gap of the knowledge is too high, and we believe that cannot work. So coming to our ultimate goal. Our ultimate goal is to maximize the efficiency of learning for students and protect the values of educational system itself. Two arguments. One, the allocation of teachers affects harmony to both parties of students, good and bad performing students. Two, loss of job satisfaction, which will consequently harm the educational system. First, substantive. The allocation leads to the downfall of students' ability and motivation to develop academically. One, why these students are in a lower ability group. A, they lack ability to perceive profound knowledge. For example, if I'm bad at chemistry, everything at knowledge will be very hard to perceive in my head. B, they lack motivation to study. How can they be harmed under the teaching method of good teachers? One, good teachers are the ones with a lot of academic knowledge, as I said before, and ambitious about giving knowledge to their students. Therefore, under the inability of absorbing to academic knowledge, students will have these two tendencies to behave in two ways. First, they are overwhelmed by the knowledge and discourage themselves from further learning more knowledge, since they consider that something is so unachievable and way beyond their comfort zone. Two, they will see no point in higher education and end up dropping out or looking for other interests and hobbies. So why does it harm? One, the lack of fundamental education that will cause the lower ability students to have less opportunities. When they don't learn the fundamental education, they cannot go out and find jobs and do stuff. And two, they will lose connection with teachers since they're too high above and they are from very different backgrounds. So when you go out to find different interests, you have no one to support with because the teachers are so, their gap of knowledge is very high. That's why we just want them to acquire the foundation and the basics for them to exceed, not the outreach knowledge that they cannot reach. Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys for an awesome first round. And we're going to get straight to what the judges are thinking right now. So, Ue, please, let's hear some thoughts.
I think both teams just start to, provide some ideas about it, but there's a lot of lacking, especially in terms of analysis in here. So overall, I'm not very satisfied with the first round. I think there's still a lot of things that teams members have to build up gradually in the next two turns. For the prop side, I think you definitely have to work out the time management problem, because I think you spend a lot of time doing the case setup, and most of it was for definition. And I think even though definition is very, very crucial in the debate, it should not take more than 60% of your time. And the result was that the argument was not very well explained. I think the idea was still very simple, even though I must admit that those are actually quite good idea and very, very strong and basic idea for the prop side would use. The opposition side, however, I think the problem in the op side here is that your whole case has been built on one assumption, that the good teachers are people who always teach advanced knowledge. Meanwhile, I think that definition was not provided by the prop side. So in this case, you have to characterize for me very clear, like how does the good teachers look like on particularly your side, so that you can counter with what provided by the prop side, because I don't think it can result into a good debate if we go in this way. Because of that, your argument is basically saying that there's a very big gap and students cannot follow it, which for me is still not very objective, and the explanation was still not there yet. So considering two sides in here, it's really, really hard to give point to one of you guys. But in the end of the day, I think the contribution from the prop side is slightly more significant, so my 10 points will go to the prop side.
Okay. Stuart.
Yes.
Yes. You're looking very good in your suit tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. A good friend recommended it to me. Proposition side, I do like the fact that you've you identified the problem quite clearly. At this point, I still need to have a little bit more development. I like the idea of the curriculum being changed, or that there are changes to the curriculum. I would like that to be developed a little bit more. The one part you definitely need to develop is the notion of independence of good students, and you need to make sure that's really, really strong to avoid any kind of rebuttals coming from the other side, on the opposition side. Opposition side, what I would say is, in terms of your delivery, I would actually pace yourself a little bit slower, because for that round it felt like a lot of ideas are being thrown out quite quickly, and they weren't built on, and these ideas weren't really developed into really, really strong notions. So I would pace yourself a little bit slower if you can. Again, the whole concept of that teachers teaching knowledge which is too high for these low ability students, there are possibly a few issues with that, and I think as you go forward, you'll need to make sure that you can support that and strengthen that, because at the moment, I think that might be an area of weakness for you guys. overall, looking at the arguments that both teams have put forward, I would say, for me, this round will go for the proposition side.
All right, thank you, Stuart. And Hugh, please share some of your thoughts.
With the proposition team, there's one way when you set up the case and you identify the good teachers as the one with the degree and also like the competency evaluated by students. I think that is possibly a weakness there, because I think defining good teachers just based on their competency and their degree, it doesn't portray quite well the kind of teachers who will change a student's life. There is more in the teacher beyond their degree and competency. And I don't want to give too much clue, but I really want you to look at the softer side of the teacher more than the technical side of the teacher as well. With the opposition team, there's not much to judge either. I think that jumping from like having teachers with degree come in with too much of advanced knowledge and overwhelming for students, I do agree. That is the reality, but I can't give you the credit for that because there's no development of the idea and reasoning. So I think the second debater and the third debater of your team need to take that point and push further. However, I think when you point exactly the weakness of the proposition team is you don't have a strong definition, a good definition of a good teacher. Teachers with advanced degrees may not be able to communicate in a level where these low ability class can understand and comprehend. And I think you point out exactly that is the fundamental flaw, I think, in your argument. That's why my 10 point in this round go to the opposition team.
All right, Team Yes, 20 points. So you have a 10-point lead. You feeling better right now?
Yeah, a little bit relief, but yeah, I'm a bit worried for my next speaker to develop these things.
Why are you worried?
Though I'm confident in her performance, but I still a little bit, worried.
Yeah, because when the judges were talking, they had a lot of input for both teams. So for Team Vanilla and also for your team. So I think everybody right now, before the second and third debate, need to make some adjustments to whatever you guys are saying and debating. All right. You feel a little bit better?
Yeah, but I feel pressure for my teammates.
But you can just put it onto them now, so you don't have to worry about it so much. You guys make some final adjustments because we're going to start the second round shortly. But thank you so much. Please go back to your seats. Currently, right now, Team Yes, the proposition team, they have 20 points. To my left, the opposition team, Team Vanilla, they only have 10 points. However, with the first round, it's only a 10-point difference, which is not that significant. We will start the second round right after the break.
We should support a policy that maximizes the ability of good teachers to fulfill the learning needs of the student in low ability class.
The good teachers have high academic knowledge, and they cannot fit the average student because of the gap of the knowledge is too high.
I think both teams just start to, provide some ideas about it, but there is a lot of lacking, especially in terms of analysis in here.
Welcome back to the second round of today's debate. For the second round, we have some new contestants coming up, and let's see if we can kind of spice things up and change a little bit of our debating style compared to the first round. With the judges' input, I think the students have made some adjustments, so we're eager to hear from this. From Team Yes, please welcome ~Ng Hጢ. From the opposition team, please welcome Lê Minh Hữu Giang. Okay. Second round. Did you guys make some adjustments?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, you feeling a little bit better?
A lot of pressure, actually.
Well, a lot of pressure, but still, are you feeling a bit better?
Yeah, I think so.
So currently with the second round, you have 4 minutes to deliver your speech, and POI is entirely open. So right now, Team Yes, you guys will be going first. Here on the opposition team, you will be going second. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right. Let the second round begin.
Right from the start, we have stated that the problem of the low ability classes is that they don't achieve high marks in the exams, and that's why they're classified in the low ability classes. And you agree with us on that statement. However, you don't give it any mechanism to improve the performance of the low ability classes. However, at our house, we have the policy to improve the potential of the lower ability classes. And our policy is that we will allocate good teacher to the lower ability classes, and we assess the good teacher based on not only the metrics, which is the qualification, but also the evaluation of students to the teachers. That means that it is the students who know which is the best teacher for them to help them in their studying. And by that way, we believe that this can improve the overall performance of the lower ability classes. So why can the good teachers can improve, then can help the lower ability classes? Firstly, the lower ability classes, they do have the potentials, and we call them like the late bloomer. However, due to some like external factors that can hinder the potentials, or because the school is classifying them, they are like low ability classes, that like they don't have the incentives to try. However, when we give the lower ability student good teacher, what can the good teacher do to the lower ability classes? They can help them to overcome their difficulties by giving them the motivation and different methods that can apply to like different types of students, and by that we can contribute to the improvement of the lower ability classes as a whole. And at the end of the day, our policy can at least improve the performance of the lower ability classes, and we can make sure that like more students can pass the exams. However, in your case, you haven't proven that like the alternative mechanisms to solve this problem. And so when more students can pass the exam, it means that like the educational quality of the school is also improved, because it is based on both like high quality students as well as the low quality students. And by that, we are proving that our mechanism is effective in helping the educational system. This is Daniel speaking. Thank you.
Before stepping into my case, I'll try to start my speech with some rebuttals. So the first speaker of the proposition team stated that high-performance students have self-learning skills. So when they have self-learning skills, does that mean that they don't need teachers? So when they don't have teachers, how can they develop as proper students? They can... Yes?
We didn't say that they don't need teacher. We say that we argue that the lower ability classes need the good teacher more, and the high-ranking students still do well with the average teachers.
Okay, but the things that you guys left behind is that the students in the lower ability class, the thing that they lack is not just only academic aptitude, they also lack motivation and sources to grow. And by this, we believe that good teachers cannot help them. The second speaker of the... I'm not taking it, sorry. Here comes the characterization of my team. So the good teachers are the one with the long-term training and experience. So this is what the average teacher lacks, and they need time to improve. And the lower ability students are the most vulnerable subject of this debate, because if they don't get the quality education, they can't grow. This comes to our case. The allocation of good teachers to poor performance classes will cause the loss of job satisfaction and therefore harm the educational system. This leads us to the definition of job satisfaction. The feelings of contentment derived from the appraisal of one's job and the understanding that the job assisting him or her or other people. The allocation will not give them enough job satisfaction, since it goes against the freedom of choice. They want to stay and teach in classes with more academically gifted students who tend to bring back more satisfactory awards and achievements. On the contrary, the students in lower classes lack the ability to do so since they lack academic aptitude, lack of motivation, and sources to grow. This is the reason why teachers have the incentive to teach academically gifted classes, since the more you achieve, the more successful you are. Teachers have devoted their time and resources to have qualifications and merits that qualify them as good teachers, so they should receive some of those success back. Teachers get job satisfaction when their students understand lessons and do well in exams. Hence, when good teachers who are allocated to lower ability classes lose job satisfaction, they will start treating their jobs as tasks or obligations, as a thing that must be finished or done. The quality of the lectures will deteriorate through time. They will not appeal to the students. Their students will not absorb any information or pay any attention to the lessons. Therefore, the teachers will gradually get bored of their own profession, and they will no longer have the incentive to obtain more knowledge. So we will have teachers who are not willing to work hard, along with students who have lost interest in their studies. Furthermore, average teachers arranged to high-performance classes, they will suffer from a lack of confidence, and therefore they will suffer from a loss of job satisfaction because no good students would listen to them, because good students think that they are better than these teachers who are allocated from lower classes. Eventually, we'll lose the spirit of education, which is all about the cooperation between students and teachers, and the students must be able to comprehend something. It is clear that the students, the teachers, and the educational system can't get anything from this. Thank you.
All right. So judges. Hugh, let's start with you.
I may disappoint you guys with my comments again.
Okay.
And I think you guys are in high school, so you need like honest feedback in order to grow, improve yourself beyond this competition, and also in your studies and your future work as well. So I want to be honest and direct. With the proposition team, I don't see any further development from the first speakers. It's still rephrasing that good teachers will help low ability, poor performing students. I don't see a lot of nuance, enrichment, further development in any dimension. So I think when you want to prove something, you want to create a lot of reasoning with different layers of meaning, not just like one idea repeated over and over again. With the opposition team, I don't like your rebuttals. With the arguments, you push it to the next level, and now you look at the teacher side instead of the student side. So in terms of like development, there's some development there. In terms of satisfaction, but a lot of that is very generalization that you feel like good teachers, when they come to poor performing class, they will lose their job satisfaction. Not necessarily so. You know what I mean? If a good teacher who have a good heart for education, their joy should be in the growth of the students, not because as a duty or responsibility. So I think some may feel that way, but not all teachers feel that way. Seriously, I don't want to get my 10 point in this round, but I have to. At least the opposition team give me a further development of the idea on the teacher side. That's why I give my 10 point to you.
Okay. Thank you, Hugh. Stuart.
I was waiting for this round to see more than just whether lower level students would be able to improve or not, and start to really think about the ramifications of that and the impact of that and the other stakeholders involved. Unfortunately for me, for the proposition side, there was a bit of a kind of recycling of ideas, and it didn't really kind of develop past this scope of just having the students either do well or not do well, depending on the teacher. For the other side, starting with your rebuttal, I think it was a little bit weak in the fact that you mentioned that the other team were classifying low ability students by just their marks. You guys also include their motivation, but the other team already mentioned that they believe a good teacher to also be able to motivate students as well, and therefore wasn't a particular point in itself. I do like the fact that you looked from the teacher's perspective. So as I said, I was waiting for kind of different stakeholders of different perspectives to be included. If we take away the agency of the teacher, as in if we take away their ability to choose and they're forced to put into certain classes, then some teachers may prefer to work with lower ability, some teachers may prefer to work with higher ability. If we completely remove that option, then that may affect their job satisfaction. For that reason, I would give it to the opposition side.
Okay, thank you, Stuart. And Ouyang, please.
In this round, I think you guys have three fundamental problems in definition, in rebuttal, and in arguments. So basically, I am not satisfied with this round. In terms of explanation, I think the prop side, you kind of like repeat the ideas, and all you did in your speech was just rebuttals, and you still drop points. But your ideas in there, I think like you're still jumping a lot. When you say like, when you give them motivation, somehow good teachers can give them motivation. Somehow they will be better. They will have higher score, which means that the school quality is high, which means they're going to have a good future, and their quality and everything is high. I don't need you guys to go everything that far to tell me like the high quality of the teacher, of the student and everything. I need simple idea but realistic enough, rather than some big things that I feel is really far to fetch. For the opposition side today, I appreciate the fact that you try to rebut. However, there are some rebuttals that is not formed yet. When you just say like, oh, good teacher cannot help poor student. I think this is a very, very big claim that if you take time to explain that, maybe you take the whole speech explaining that, I would love to hear it, rather than like just put it there and then move to another point. Your argument about dissatisfaction, I think like you put a lot of effort into explaining it, and there is some part of it that I can credit, even though it is still a little bit lacking for me. So my 10 points go to the opposition side.
All right, a very interesting turn of events. So you guys were down, and now currently you are leading. I'm not sure if you're feeling happy, because the judges, from everything you guys heard, they're probably not the happiest as well. But what are your thoughts? What are you thinking right now?
I just felt like I have a lot more to try.
Yeah. So do you think your teammate is going to be able to help improve some of this and make some adjustments?
I think she will bring on her A game.
Her A game? Okay, I like to hear that, and I think the judges are also very curious to see how the third round will be going. All right, Team Yes. So before you guys were winning, and now you are behind. How are you feeling?
Kind of like stressed. So
Yeah.
I hope that the third speaker will improve our situation.
Yes, and the third speaker over here as well. You guys heard from the judges, hopefully making some changes, because we want to see your A game as well. So contestants, thank you so much. Please return back to your seats. Yeah, thank you guys. So currently, right now, Team Yes, the proposition team, they have 20 points. The opposition team, Team Vanilla, they have 40 points. We'll get back to you after the break.
When we give the lower ability student good teacher, they can help them to overcome their difficulties by giving them the motivation.
The allocation will not give them enough job satisfaction, since it goes against the freedom of choice. They'll start treating their jobs as tasks or obligations, as a thing that must be finished or done.
I do like the fact that you looked from the teacher's perspective. So as I said, I was waiting for kind of different stakeholders of different perspectives to be included.
Welcome back to Debaters Season 2. Currently the proposition team, Team Yes, they have 20 points. The opposition team, Team Vanilla, has 40 points. We need the third round, which is going to be extremely important. So contestants from Team Yes, please welcome Jun Nam Lin. From the opposition team, Team Vanilla, please welcome Lei Huiyan Tao. Okay. You guys aren't smiling so much. You guys doing okay?
Probably.
So in Benjie, it's very warm all year round, but in Hanoi, what do you think of the cold weather?
I'm very bad at enduring the cold weather, so this is like a drawback.
So have you ever been to the south in Vietnam?
I've been to Ho Chi Minh City before.
And I'm assuming you like the cold weather.
Yes, although I cannot endure the cold and the freeze of winter, but I still love it.
Okay, so just trying to distract you guys a little bit for the third round, and I hope you made some revisions to your debate right now, because the judges, unfortunately, are not so happy with how things are going. But the third round is quite similar to the second round. You have 4 minutes to deliver your speech. POI is entirely open. Do you guys understand?
Yes.
Okay, proposition team, you will be going first. All right, let's do this. Let the debate begin.
Being the third speaker of the proposition team, I'm here to first make some rebuttals, and then I will make some conclusion and the highlights, and I will make comparison where relevant. First of all, the rebuttal. Your teammate have said that our policy will harm the education system because we give good teachers away to the low ability classes. You also say that a teacher will lose their satisfaction if they teach the low ability students. Well, if a teacher loses their satisfaction because of such thing, then can he be labeled as an exceptional good teacher in the first place? Because a good teacher, they will analyze a student's situation and then they will give exceptional and suitable methods to the exceptional method to each one. And then to the high ability one, we giving away the good teachers out will not exacerbate the high ability, the high performing students. Actually, teachers who are average can facilitate and will improve the others high performing because they already have the motivation to study, so they only need a facilitator to help them with their studying. Also, here you said that the good teachers don't want to teach the good students, and actually if the teachers don't want to teach the good students, then the core value of education is missing here, because the core value of education is to maximize one's ability. So that is my rebuttal. And in conclusion, we, the affirmative side, claim that the low-ranking class can be made better, can be improved through the rearrangement of good teachers whose innovative styles of teaching can help them effectively to improve their own performance. Meanwhile, your team take a very dim view of our belief and assuming that they don't want to teach the low ability students. So the highlight of today's debate, we have debate and this debate contained two main issues. First of all, allocating high-ranking teachers to the low-ranking classes is justifiable, or does it undermine the teacher's interest in teaching good students? And second of all, what is the goal of educational system, and to be based on that, which side gives a more promising solution to solve the current situation that the status quo that the low ability students cannot do well in exams. Well, to analyze this, I would say that the education, like I said before, the ultimate goal is to maximize one's ability. So here we are trying to balance, we are trying to help, we are trying to give the opportunities, at least we try to give the opportunities out to the low ability students so that they can improve themselves, not to leave them behind and only focus on the minority, the high ability students who can perform well. If we do that, then what about the low ability? And if you are against our policy, then do you have any more suitable, more justifiable policy to adapt into the situation? And thank you.
Today's speech will be divided into two parts, which are the rebuttals and our team's clash. First of all, on the rebuttals, we believe that the current status quo is better than the policy of the proposition side. The second speaker of the proposition side has stated that good teachers could also be evaluated based on the evaluation of students, which means that teachers have more students that pass exams, then the education evaluation will improve. However, good teachers have the tendency to continue to maintain their reputation. Then they will have the tendency to choose higher performing classes, and it is easier to train, and it is easier for them for the high performance students to get high scores. And now No thanks. Coming to our today's main clash, today's debate will contain two main clashes. The first one is whether or not we can maximize benefits for low ability classes, and the second one is whether or not this policy would disincentivize teachers to develop themselves. Coming to our first class, in our case, good teachers are assigned to high-performance students. High-performance students are academically gifted, they came from a good background, they're ambitious, and they are competitive. Thus, they need a teacher that is better than them to teach them even more advanced knowledge. Furthermore, only a good teacher can see the weaknesses of the high-performance students. An average teacher will only see the high-performance students as a really good ones, but they cannot see the weaknesses. Furthermore, the high-performance students will see a good teacher that is better than them, a role model. Although the low-ability students might see good teachers, a role model, that we believe that that admiration merely comes from a big gap of academic level between two. No thanks. And the gap between students, low-ability students, and good teachers is too big for the students to make that a motivation to improve themselves. And in our case, no thanks. In our case, the admiration coming from good students is because good teachers has helped them to see the weaknesses and help them to improve themselves. And we're here to prove that in our side of the house, the exclusivity is that the motivation of students can only happen in our side of the house. Because first of all, in your case, low ability students will be discouraged to pursue higher education as their ability does not give them the chance to understand the profound knowledge given by good teachers. Because there have been a saying that the more profound you are at something, the harder for you to explain to the beginners. And our second clash is that in your case, when good teachers are allocated to low ability students, average teachers then are assigned to classes with high performance because good teachers are prestigious and it counts a small percentage of teachers. Then there must be an average teachers having to teach the high performance classes. In the high performance classes, the expectation average teacher from parents and students are very high. Then they expect the teachers to be able to teach advanced knowledge to students. However, the average teachers only have average academic level and low exposure to diverse training method. As a result, they will not feel confidence about themselves. And in the end, good teachers at both sides of the house have job satisfaction. However, we believe that at your side of the house, not every average student can absorb this knowledge. And then your scenario would not be as possible to happen as ours. Even if there is an average student that can understand the knowledge, it is the minority of the class that the good teacher will focus on. Then toxic competitiveness will exist in low performing classes. For the reason being provided above, we believe that this motion must fall. Thank you.
All right. You're done. You did it. All right. The enthusiasm, it's a little bit on the low end right now. I'll talk to you guys after we talk with the judges first, and then we'll kind of see how things have improved or did not improve. But we have 2 thumbs up, which is a good sign. So, Oi.
So I think in the third turn, this is the turn where I see the most effort from you guys, and I enjoy this turn the most by far in the debate. So great. For the prop side today, I think the highlights of your speech is when you pointed out that there is still no alternative from the op side, and at least you are trying to do something. And I think that if you can push further, it can be a very good comparative argument for your side. For op side, I think the best idea that you brought up today was that actually good teachers, they can see the weaknesses in poor students, although average teachers, they cannot, even though there's lack of analysis as well, but I would recognize it as an idea, and I think this idea was nice. It has potential in it, although it was brought up pretty much late. Now, given that, I think there's a very big problem at the whip speech right now is that you guys are debating about 2 different types of good teachers. While the prop side, you're talking about a holistic good teacher or perfect good teacher who would solve magically everything. And the problem that I've always stated is that you fail to explain to me how could those good teachers actually exist, and you lack of realistic material in it. While on the upside, you're talking about the bad good teacher, as in they are good academically talking, but they cannot have very good teaching method. That is why they cannot teach poor students. They don't want to reach out for those students, which basically means that they are so mean and they care only about their reputation, so they, they don't feel good about teaching the poor student. I think like that does not fit with the definition given in this debate particularly. So in the reply speech, please step into the other side's definition for once and try to debate about it. For now, my 10 points would go to the team that I think have highlighted their contribution more for me in this particular debate, which is the prop side.
All right. Stuart.
I'll go straight for the reason, is that you provided a really good rebuttal. The idea that, can they really be labelled a good teacher if they can't work with low-level abilities? So, I thought that was a really good idea. And so that brought out the thumb for that one. Again, for me, I still felt like the rest of it started off really strong with that, and then it kind of carried on with these ideas that did still lack a bit of development and a bit of kind of explanation. For the opposition side, again, liked the idea that you mentioned that good teachers, you don't like the evaluation. So basically, good teachers should not be judged by the evaluation of their students. I thought that was a good point that you put forward. But again, for me, there was a lack of kind of defining of these points that you've put forward, a lack of analysis. I was a bit disappointed to not have any or see any POIs being used, or at least answered, because I was looking for that interaction. Comparing both speakers, for me, it still stays with the strong rebuttal that you provided at the start of your turn, and so for me, it's for the proposition side.
This is a very interesting turn of events. Hugh, because right now it's 40-40. Girls, you see that face? That is the last judge.
I think when has called out, you guys are avoiding each other arguments. You are not directly confronting. You keep talking about a low ability poor for performance class and kind of like avoiding the battlefield of the high performance and high ability students. And the only thing you pull out is just about like IB teachers can still facilitate. That is the only slight idea you throw in there, right? You should actually confront her best argument as well. On the other side, you're doing exactly the same thing. You're focusing so much on the high ability, high performance, and you're only slightly touching on the low ability and low performance. You guys are not confronting each other. I can't resolve the winner just based on that.
But Hugh, spit it out. We need the 10 points to go to a team.
Right now.
A little bit more than 5 seconds.
I give my 10 points to the team that from the beginning of the first round to the third round, there is more development of ideas. And that's why my 10 points go to the opposition team.
Okay. This has been a very interesting turn of events. First, Team Yes, you guys were winning. Here, then you guys took the lead. It was tied up. Then Hugh, if you're at home right now, they probably edited out a lot, but it was about 20 minutes worth of time it took Hugh to come up with the 10 points. Has given it to Team Vanilla. So you are currently leading by 10 points. What are you thinking right now?
I think that I tried my best and that I still have a lot of things to improve, and I'll try to deliver an even better speech in the next round I debate.
Okay, yeah, because we do have one more round. This is a really interesting 6th episode. Your team is down by 10 points. We have 15 more points. So the final reply speech is going to be very, very important. But girls, thank you so much. Please go back to your seats. So currently right now, Team Yes, they have 40 points. To the left of me, the opposition team, Team Vanilla, they have 50 points. The debate tonight has been extremely interesting, some ups and downs, and we will see who is going to take it in the final reply speech after the break.
If a teacher loses their satisfaction because of such thing, then can he be labeled as an exceptional good teacher in the first place?
An average teacher will only see the high-performance students as a really good ones, but they cannot see the weaknesses.
I think BIểN has called out, you guys are avoiding each other arguments. You are not directly confronting.
Welcome back to the Debaters Season 2. So without further ado, please let me introduce ~NG Hጢ. Team Vanilla, please welcome Lê Minh Hù Giang. Okay, you guys, welcome back. I know everyone seems so discouraged right now and so sad, but it shouldn't be discouraging and saddening. You should be happy and excited just for the experience. And I know Team Bên Chê coming to Hanoi for the first time, which is exciting. And you guys hanging out with people from Bên Chê. So it's good. It's good. Feel happy, exciting. But how are you really feeling?
Quite pressured again, but at least I feel a little bit more comfortable.
Okay. Think of it as an experience coming to Hanoi. All right. I don't want you to feel pressured as well. You should feel less pressured though, because you just need one judge to give you 5 points. Are you feeling okay?
I'm actually pretty nervous, but I'll try my best.
Okay. For this final reply speech, you have 2 minutes to deliver your speech, and POI is not open. An opposition team, you are going first. Take a deep breath, just relax, and let's begin the final reply speech.
I'll start my reply speech by comparing the best picture of the proposition side and the worst picture of my side, the opposition side. So the best picture of the proposition side will be the good teachers are arranged to teach the lower abilities classes. So the students will definitely have difficulty in understanding the lessons in the beginning because they are not familiar with the pace and the speed of teaching of the good teachers who were once from the academically gifted classes. Therefore, they will not understand anything at class, and their parents will have to spend money at extra classes, and this will create a disbelief in the educational system, and this will furthermore lead to a lack of human resources when all good teachers are allocated to lower classes. So this will leave us at a dilemma, which gives us the question that who will teach the academically gifted classes when all the good teachers are currently teaching the lower ability classes? And the worst picture of our side, the opposition team, is that the good teachers will be able to teach the gifted students at academically gifted classes, the upper classes, and the average teachers will teach the lower ability students at poor performance classes. And this will give the students, one of the debate today is stakeholders, the most suitable curriculum, and the teachers, another stakeholder, will be teaching gifted students and who tend to bring back more satisfactory achievements. So therefore, I think that my side, the opposition side, should win the debate today because we have brought about 2 main points that the allocation will affect the efficiency and the motivation of the students, and it will make the teachers and the educational system suffer. And that's the end of my reply speech. Thank you.
I would like to compare the scenarios in 2 houses. So on your best scenario, yes, good teacher will teach good students and they will help the students reach their full potential. However, we have proved that only good teacher can help the low ability students to overcome their problems. And in your case, you don't give us any alternative mechanism to improve the problem of the low ability students, because at the end of the day, the low ability students will stay low and they even worse, and the good will stay good, so nothing has changed. However, on our side, we have the the policy to diminish the gap between the good students and the low ability students by giving low ability students the chance to catch up with the good students, and we could do that by allocating good teacher to the low ability students. Even if in your case, when we allocate good teacher to the low ability students, and as you said, the good teacher don't want to be in the low ability students, low ability classes because they want to protect their reputation. And we believe that because that incentive, they will try to at least bring the class up and try to help the low ability students, like for example, pass the exam to to at least to claim the profession of that teacher. So overall, we believe that our policy is more effective when considered 2 points, and I believe that we should win this debate. Thank you.
You're done. It's over. Finished. No more debating. Go home, relax, take it easy. And I know you guys are probably curious to hear what the judges have to say, but in this speech, we don't have to listen to the judges at all. So what the judges are going to be doing is they're going to be writing the 5 points down individually. They'll be giving it to me. So right now, girls, thank you so much. So please return back to your seats. We have the final results coming up after the break. Welcome back to the final results of the Debaters Season 2. To my right, we have Team Yes. To my left, we have Team Vanilla. I know tonight has been very interesting with some ups and downs, and I think you guys are extremely nervous and eager to know the final results. So I won't drag this on so long, I'll get started right now. So the team that is going to be moving on to the quarterfinals with a total of 55 points is going to Team Vanilla, the opposition team, with 55 points and 50 points for the proposition team. And I know tonight may or may not have been to your expectations, but I hope you really enjoy your time. And you guys from Benjaya, I hope you enjoy the pho and the food in Hanoi and the cold weather before you guys go back home. And then I know you have lots of coconuts and other things to have, but just enjoy yourselves as much as you can. And for you guys, again, thank you so much. I'm very, very proud of you. And I want to give a big shout out to our sponsor, British University Vietnam. Thank you so much for sponsoring the debaters. And for all of you, the audience, the viewers at home, have a great night. Take care. See you soon. Bye, you guys.